All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, man. We have possibly the weirdest ever rumor in the history of the 2022 NBA season. Apparently, according to Mark Stein, there's at least one team out there that would take Russell Westbrook if the conditions are right, and that team is surprisingly the Houston Rockets. This actually isn't all that surprising. I feel like the Lakers, I don't think this, first of all, I don't think this trade will ever happen because I highly doubt the Los Angeles Lakers would want to give up like their one eligible first round draft pick to acquire John Wall. I just don't think it really makes that much sense. I would not do this trade in any way, shape, or form if we are not getting a first round draft pick in return. The Houston Rockets have made it abundantly clear this entire season they're not in a rush to trade John Wall. Like, there's literally no rush to trade John Wall right now. We want to develop our younger players: Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Josh Christopher, Armani Brooks. The list goes on, and on and on. So John Wall not playing for the Houston Rockets is honestly for the better. Like, we are literally in no rush. We got a first round draft pick for doing that trade. The reason I wouldn't be, actually, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into this trade with Russell Westbrook. I'm open to whatever. If, let's say, this trade actually goes down, I don't think Russell Westbrook particularly would want to buy out. As my buddy Balin was saying on our Discord, Russ has never really made it clear that he wants to win a championship. Russ has made it clear that he wants to be that dude on a team. He wants to just kind of not control that team, but be the face of the team. Russell Westbrook, I think you could argue that he played some of the best, maybe even the best season of his career over here in Houston. Russell Westbrook, Jalen Green, KPJ starting lineup. I actually wouldn't really mind that because Russell Westbrook's gone next year. He's got a player option. There is no way, shape, or form he would want to play a season and a half on the Houston Rockets. But maybe there is. If he really actually does not have championship aspirations, maybe there is a chance. So there's kind of a downside, both sides, where it's like, would he want to buy out? Do you even want to play Russ? Because I really like the development of Kevin Porter Jr. specifically the last couple of weeks. Jalen Green hasn't really found his footing in the NBA. You could make a case, argument either way. Like, Russell Westbrook would ruin that because he needs the ball in his hands at all times. Or you could also kind of flip that and be like, Russell Westbrook's one of the greatest passers in the entire NBA right now, borderline all-star. He could make guys like Jalen Green better. He could make the whole Houston Rockets better just by giving them more open looks, just generating more open looks for better shots. So this is super weird. But there's been a ton of trade proposals. Like this, Russell Westbrook and a first-round draft pick for John Wall, that's been a trade proposal for like months on end. Pretty much since Russ got to Los Angeles, there's kind of been that rumor going on. So a lot of this really has to do with Russell Westbrook and the Rockets, because I would do this trade if Russell Westbrook wants a buyout or if he would be fine sitting out the rest of the season. I would imagine the Rockets 100% would jump on the train for this trade if that was a clear. I don't even think you could get clarity on that situation, so it makes it even more complicated. But if you're able to flip Russell Westbrook for John Wall and a first-round pick, and then you're able to flip John Wall for Russell Westbrook and a first-round pick, that's 2 first-round picks. The Houston Rockets have all the power in this trade situation because, they, like I said, they are in literally no rush to trade John Wall. John Wall, he's voiced some frustration, but at the end of the day, I don't really know what he can do. The whole John Wall on the Rockets situation is already just like super weird as it is. So like I said, I think this is an extremely unlikely trade. In fact, I don't think John Wall like moves the needle that much better for the Lakers. What I do like about John Wall is, he'll turn the ball over less, but not like substantially less. He can play better defense than Russ. As far as like passing the ball goes, as far as scoring the ball goes, John Wall isn't a great three-point shooter. Russ isn't a great three-point shooter. I just don't see, like, if LeBron and the Lakers wanted Russ, I just don't see them giving up a first-round draft pick to acquire John Wall and let go of Russell Westbrook. So personally, I think what's a little bit more likely here is I think Russell Westbrook stays in LA. I think John Wall stays in Houston. And, in the offseason, both of those teams kind of figure it out. I saw the Lakers made a trade today for Jeremy Grant, Taylor Horton Tucker, Kendrick Nunn, and a first-round pick. I don't think Detroit will accept that trade, but I would imagine. I still think my final prediction on the Lakers is them picking up Harrison Barnes for like Taylor, Kendrick, and a first-round draft pick. I think that suits both teams very well. So, I wouldn't really worry too much about this report. I do have a feeling that the Rockets are going to be heavy sellers at the deadline. I would imagine Eric Gordon's gone. I would imagine Christian Wood's gone. DJ Augustine's kind of up in the air because I bet you could get like a second-round pick for him. That kind of remains to be seen. I wouldn't even be surprised if Daniel Tice ends up getting traded just to unload him. You kind of figure out it's not really working. So I do imagine the Rockets will be sellers, and I imagine the Rockets are going to be in all of these rumor reports until the trade deadline on February 10th. But as far as this specific trade goes, I've even seen some like Lakers fans propose John Wall for Russell Westbrook and like 2 second-round picks. I would never, ever do that trade. Ever. Waste of time. So let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. If this trade actually were to go down, I think you could definitely classify it as one of the weirdest trade situations in recent memory in the NBA, 100%. So hit the like button, hit that sub button. We're still about 55 subs away from 10,000. So if you guys like daily NBA content, hit that subscribe button. Peace.